Hi there, folks. I got a couple more prepared notes, but for this second of 5 candid segments of our longer business discussion between me, my father, and my brother, this particular one covers our possible plans of finishing cattle ourselves and how to do it in the most efficient way without losing quality for our consumers. So I hope you enjoy.
If you want that finished, then we take it for 60 days and convert that fat from a grass fat to that heavy marbling, grain fed animal, and 60 days is the minimum. Some of them, as you found out, do what, up to 120 days?
Yeah, I have
For
info right
grain
here.
finish?
Hold on.
Yeah, for grain
So,
finish, but
It's a little overkill.
well, they're trying to get that
well,
prime,
yeah. So
where there's
there's
super heavy marbling.
I had 4 questions. When finishing steers or cattle, cattle, is it, do people do grass only, grain only, or a hybrid? 50%, almost 51% said grass grain hybrid. 6% said grass, and 42% said grain. And then I asked what's fed, silage and protein supplements. That was 8%. Hay and grain together, that was 67%. That was the vast majority. And then grass and grain was 25%. Then the other thing was, you're talking about the feed out time. I asked 21, 30, 45, 90, or 120. And guys came back at me and they said, hey, like some of these are too low. You need to add in 150 and 180.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's 6 months right there. But with that, 40 between 45, 90, and 120, 0 said 45 days, 46% said 90 days, and 54% said 120. So I think you're shooting around the 90 to 120 area. You're probably going to be fine. And then the last one was, how long do you transition from grass to grain? 56% said 14 days, 11% said 21, and 33% said 28.
Okay.
So that
So
surprises me that they actually did only, if like the majority said 14 days. That actually really, really surprised me. I thought there'd be more people saying 28.
As a transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're pushing them, and we did the same thing. I think we transitioned over 21 days, up to, but that's transitioning up to 30 pounds of feed a day. That's a lot. That's really punching that at them and trying to get as much grass or fat on them as possible. And really, what you need to look at is the condition of the animal. Where's the fat deposited at? How much fat is there? And you kind of get an indication there by looking at the size of the brisket fat,
Mm-hmm.
the rib cage, the tail head, the flank. How much are they pushing fat ahead of them as they take a step in their flank? Is there kind of an accumulation of fat in that flank area that they're kind of moving as they walk and it's bulging, or is it just a flap of skin there that's a normal flank that you would think of like on a horse? Even looking at their legs, dew claws, is there fat accumulating around their ankles? Are they getting cankles? There's a lot of that that are indicators of the correct amount or the desired amount of fat. How wide is their hind end stance? Is their legs literally getting wider and wider apart to be able to sustain that weight? So it's a condition thing, and some animals I think will feed out or finish later than others, just depending on genetics. What are their carcass traits? What are they going to have to put in their mouth to be able to produce what is desirable on a plate? So I think some of those numbers are more of a large target that'll hit the majority of them, and I think that's probably the right way to do that. When I'm talking about converting 57 days or 60 days of grass fat fully converted to grain fat, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a bunch more additional marbling in there. If you just transition that, I think it's going to depend on how much feed you push at them. So if you're doing, 10, 12 pounds a day and it converts that, if you double that to 20 to 24 pounds, should you be getting some additional marbling in there? You should, because it's all about how much more energy is going into this animal to create the fat. It's about carbo in, starch in, and how much is being deposited versus what they need. So I think it's a big target with lots of variables in there, I guess is what I could say.